So okay, Jef Mallett of Frazz.
Hi.
And we are in your studio, complete with sleeping cat.
Fiona.
and very attentive dog.
Zoe.
And the two cats hiding. And so this is where Frazz happens.
This is where it happens.
What else happens here?
Well, you can see Frazz is not on the board right now. This is some book illustration work for a book that I'm just finishing up right now on triathlon. That's what I do in my spare time. Triathlon is what I do in my spare time. Writing books is part of my job.
And you were saying that this is coming from a column that you do for a triathlon magazine, or?
Yeah, the magazine's called Triathlete Magazine, and before that I did a column for Inside Triathlon Magazine. Same type of magazines.
Right. We call those niche publications.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So this is a best of, or is it an expansion?
No, it's a brand new book.
Brand new.
Yeah, it's all new material, and it's kind of a why we do triathlons. It's not so much a how to do triathlons. There's plenty of those books out there. This is kind of a why we do them, and it's funny, it's philosophical, and it's informative, and it has pictures. What more could you ask?
Now, are you still doing political cartooning?
No, not really.
How long's it been?
Well, it's been since I dropped my day job at the newspaper bureau, and that would probably be 7 years ago.
That's nice, to drop your day job. Everyone's dream is to drop your day job.
Well, especially after you've been doing the 2 full-time jobs for a while. Boy, that's a hard way to do it. It's a hard way to go.
Now, you were cartooning in high school.
Yeah, I did a daily strip when I was in high school. It was called Birch Bark. It looked like a high school student during the 70s. Did the strip, but sometimes I'll go back and take a look at it, and I'm kind of amused. I thought, oh, well, I'll be darned, I did that.
Well, you know, one of the things Wiley Miller's always saying is that, you know, I think it's something that echoes off Charles Schultz, but it's, you know, draw a million strips. Draw a strip every day for a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
And then try to do something that matters.
Right.
You know, the discipline. You were showing up. Now, how was your track record in those years? How long did you do it, and did you have misses? And were there many?
I did it for about 3 years, and of course there were misses. But
yeah.
There was a surprising amount of solid stuff too.
Oh, when I say miss, I mean didn't come up with a strip.
Oh, never. Never. I mean, that's suddenly you're a professional. Even if you're doing it for the local small newspaper as a high school student, you put out the material. You can't have the blank page. That's just not an option.
Yeah, so pretty motivated for, what, 15 years old?
Yeah, at the beginning, that's about how old I was.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I liked it. That was enough to convince me that that's what I wanted to do for a living. It took another 20 some odd years before I did, but I was always pointed in that direction.
What did that do to did that have any effect within the high school? Or was that just past everyone?
You mean, was I like a celebrity in high school?
Right.
Did a comic strip for the pit? No. Nobody is a celebrity in high school. There's just no such thing. No, I was just Jef, and I was a little nerdy and a little of a sports guy. Fit in whatever category I was. Wasn't for me to judge, but
yeah,
you know, people knew that's what I did, and some people thought it was kind of cool, but it didn't make me any more or less special than anybody else.
But you got no wedgies and no applause.
Exactly. Yeah. Same as if I'd have just stayed doing my thing.
So you do the triathlon. Well, obviously you do, and I can see you've got some Ironman and various things up there.
Yeah, just a couple. I've done a lot more races than that, but so far just the 2 Ironman distance races.
And now, how often do you do that?
Those were a year apart, a little less than a year apart, and I think for a long course race like that, 1 a year is good. You can do more and still recover, bounce back. Some people do a couple of them a year, but boy, you really have to gear everything else around that. And I like the distance a lot, but I like the shorter distances a lot too. It's fun to go faster.
To what extent can you be doing an Ironman and keeping up a daily comic strip?
Well, I'm pretty frazzled right now, but that's not so much because of the the Ironman training and the comic strip, it's the Ironman training and the book and the magazine work, and that the book really took a lot of time, which a book should. But yeah, this has been a little bit of a lesson in why, when somebody, a columnist, professor, anybody with a real job in the first place, always ends up taking a sabbatical when they write a book. It's an amazing amount of time. And this is a fun book, but it's not War and Peace either. It's on the other hand, Tolstoy didn't illustrate War and Peace himself. So,
what a slacker!
yeah. So I guess there's that.
so let's take me through a little bit of a day in the life of Frazz, of how a strip comes to be. First of all, do you write a week, draw a week, or?
Exactly, yeah. There's no such thing really as a day in the life of Frazz so much as there's a week in the life of Frazz. And at the beginning of the week, I will sit down and write out the whole week at once. And I basically make 6 different little miniature movie scripts. That's how I keep track. And I'll shuffle them around, shuffle the order, shuffle the dialogue. Even though I'm thinking visually, I'm just writing it down verbally. And then I'll sketch them out. I'll paste up all 6 frames, all 6 panels, multiple frames per panel, I guess. I'll do that, and then block out where the text goes, and decide what I'm going to write and how the pacing is going to go. And then I'll start penciling things in very gradually. First, very light pencil with almost scribbles, like gestures in light drawing. And then I'll build it up from there until I've got softer pencil drawings that are basically what I'm going to have. I'm not one of these guys who can ink over a stick figure. I kind of have to know what I'm doing before I take the ink out. I'm sure that's a confidence thing, but that's how I do it.
Now you start electronically on the pad there?
No, I do it pen and ink on paper, and then I scan it into the computer, and I can make some touch-ups or even change some dialogue or whatever I need. If I need to change anything, then I'll do that on the computer. Use Photoshop, and then of course you turn it into a TIFF file and send it off to New York, and then they take care of it from there.
Now your wife does the lettering.
She does, yeah.
How does that, I mean, a lot of cartoonists, that's the first thing that happens, and they draw around the balloons.
And that's what I do, yeah. I'll set up the dialogue, and I'm pretty in tune by now with how much space her handwriting takes up. I can't forge her handwriting, but I can tell how big it is. So I can put the dialogue down first and paste out the cartoon, and then if she can't get to the lettering right away, it's no crisis. I can keep going with the rest of the process.
How far ahead do you work?
Not far enough these days. Again, the book. Right now I'm 4 weeks ahead on the dailies, 8 weeks ahead on the Sundays, and that's the bare minimum. I am not comfortable at all. But
now I got
winter's coming, and I'll be able to. The theory is that I'll be able to catch up a little bit and get ahead a little bit, which I will. I'm not going to go through another year like this one. This was very busy.
Now, I'm going to ask you the hard question.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Did Calvin grow up to be Frazz?
I don't think Calvin ever grew up. Calvin is his own strip. Bill Watterson, by example, certainly not personally, but through his strip, through his work, through his writing, taught me a lot. And your question is kinder than the way some people ask it. I'm not trying to plagiarize, I'm not trying to rip him off, but I'm also not of the opinion that one should have to hide who they learned from. If I'm going to stand on the shoulders of giants, I don't mind if people know who the giants are. So yeah, there's certainly a Watterson influence in my work, but I didn't decide I'm going to do a strip about Calvin all grown up.
Well, all right. I think YouTube probably won't take any longer interview than this, so
All right.
you're through.
All right, well, thanks. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.